Hello, I'm here in Saudi Arabia. We came here to auction the falcons from the UK, and I met Pete, who has a very interesting story to share with you. And his superpower is to.
My superpower is probably my passion, my drive, and my energy. That's my superpower
All right.
in the world that I have created for myself, which is working with exotics, reptiles, exotic birds, and exotic mammals.
All right. How do you change the world? How do you make this world better with these hobbies of yours?
Sharing the education that I've gained, sharing the knowledge that I've gained, sharing the passion that I have to either like-minded people, either in the industry or in the hobby, or in falconry, in the exotics, in the zoo industry. We share the things we've learned, the new technologies that are coming out. We share the knowledge that we've gained from this. And we try to help each other and produce some beautiful animals, either for conservation or for education, or for just the pure enjoyment of keeping these animals.
And you breed both the falcons and the reptiles. Which ones came first?
So the reptiles came first.
Okay.
So especially when I was young.
That's the first child.
That was the first child. So reptiles was a huge passion of mine, starting from a small boy, where I'd bring all the local wildlife home.
That was me as well.
Yeah, bring all the and I'd get frisked by my mum and my dad every day, like a security guard, and make sure that I didn't bring anything home that I shouldn't have done. And it's just snowballed from there. You know, my grandparents used to do a lot of bird work and rehabilitation with some birds, and they used to breed a lot of birds and rescue a lot of wildlife. And in my early years, when I moved home, then I started keeping exotic reptiles, and I started with garter snakes and corn snakes, and eventually it led to 6-foot crocodiles and king cobras, black mambas, rattlesnakes, you name it. I've pretty much come across it, and I've pretty much bred it. And
how many species are you having now?
So I have the largest species collection of venomous snakes in the UK to date. The most feared I've got in the collection are probably the king cobras and the mambas, and the less maybe like the European vipers and pit vipers. And I have giant tortoises in geckos. Lizards.
You have the cute ones as well.
I have the cute ones as well. My wife wouldn't have it any other way. So we have to have the cute ones as well. And then that led me into falconry. I was always had an interest in birds of prey when I was young. My nan would take me out, and we'd look for birds of prey, kestrels and sparrowhawks and stuff. And because of my grandparents' background with birds and their passion for birds, it came from there. And as soon as I was able to get my first bird of prey, then it just went crazy, you know. And now I have 150 birds in a collection, and 16 different species, from hawks, from small merlins to large hawks, and everything in between. And we created this life for myself.
What brings you joy from the whole collection? What brings you the most joy?
New life. You know, when you put them chicks back with the parents, and you see the parents feeding those chicks, and when them snakes, they pop out the eggs for the first time, or you find baby snakes in a cage that's that's expecting. That's what we do it for. You know, that's what we want to see. All the hard work that we put in throughout the year, that's what we're striving towards. You know, that's what we want to see. That's what we enjoy, and keeping our animals healthy. The best we possibly can, and advancing our skills, improving all the time each year for perfection. We're always after perfection, keeping the birds in good condition, keeping the reptiles healthy and happy, that's what brings me the most happiness in what I do.
And I'm sure everybody who was hearing the story, having the biggest collection of venomous snakes, everybody would ask, how many times you've got bitten in how many years?
So probably about 20 years now. 20 years. I was bitten. Worst time during COVID. My fault. It's always the keeper's fault. I was rushing. I shouldn't have been. I used the wrong equipment. I took my eye off the ball, and a very poorly rattlesnake managed to get her fangs into my finger. I was very lucky. It was a dry bite. 24 hours in hospital, fluids, bloods, COVID test, and I came out the other end absolutely fine with just minor swelling, and it was fine. Unfortunately for the snake, She died 2 weeks later. So it turns out that I'm more venomous than
You're more venomous than the snake.
But she had a tail infection,
Yeah.
so that was.
So being bitten, a dry bite in 20 plus years, that's remarkable.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I've had close calls. You have close calls, you know. I've had
So they love you, even if they are cold-blooded creatures, they still love you.
I wouldn't say they love me. No, I wouldn't say they love me. I would never say they love me, but they're still an apex predator.
Mhm.
They're still top of the food chain in their area, and they still demand respect.
Yeah.
You've got to treat them with respect, and still enjoy them. You know, a lot of people ask why. Why do you keep venomous snakes? You can't handle them. You can't sit there on the sofa with them like you can a dog. And I said, well, you know, I admire the beauty. I admire how deadly they are, and there's something about them. And I think everybody in the world has got to have their thing.
Yes.
Everybody has got to have their interest.
Of course.
And it could be you're into frogs, you could be into insects, you could be into birds of prey or reptiles or mammals or you know, cars or helicopters. Whatever it is, you can try to become an expert in your field to obviously help in the future if you ever needed to. Many falconers have helped birds of prey from extinction, you know, whether it be breeding skills, whether it be helping habitat, whether it be educating the public. And I think we all, with our individual interests, play a vital role in bettering the planet that we're on.
And you're mentioning that you're also breeding to repopulate, to bring back to the nature.
Yeah. So we just joined the Project Lugger in the UK, which is run by Bob Dalton and his fantastic team. And I believe the guys here at Saudi obviously have a play in that as well. So we're donating all of our young Lugger falcons to the project so that we can create a nice healthy gene pool, I suppose, in the UK. The young falcons are getting donated to falconry centres so they can be used in education. Some falconers are using them to hunt still, you know, which is fantastic, because it's a species that's struggling and they need help, and inevitably it's humans that put them in this position, and if we can't step in and help, who will, you know? So yeah, anything we can do, you know, to better the world, especially in our area of expertise, then it should be in our rights to do so. And it has been done. It's been done many times. It's been done in the States with the inhabitants peregrine and the bald eagle, the lesser kestrel, the Mauritius kestrel, and various other species across the world. And it's normally falconers that sort of lead the way into wanting to do that. And I believe in Saudi they do it with Hubara bustard, you know, it's a species they hunt and they want to try and help them, and it's all good. And anything we can do to protect our hobby, to protect our sport, protect the wildlife, protect the planet, is something that we've got to try and do.
Amazing.
And I'm hugely passionate with that.
I can definitely see that.
Whether it's snakes, you know, creepy snakes that no one likes, or whether it's beautiful raptors.
So is your center
So my centre is privately
owned?
Yeah, privately owned. The reason I have a large collection of venomous snakes is because I was involved with a company that was using the venom in the pharmaceutical industry, in pain research, in medicine research, anti-venom research, and stuff like that. So I was linked with them. They were friends of mine, and I enjoyed working with them. Unfortunately, they're no longer running, but that's one of the reasons why I've got all the venomous.
You're mentioning that they use the venom even for Botox.
Yeah, they can use the women's anti-aging cream. Is one of the most popular places that it's been used, and in its various ways. And and the research is endless. The research is endless, and I think my friend who's running the business is still pursuing all this. I think the latest was some pest control, some pesticides. They was using venom in pesticides, but I don't know the ins and outs of that. I just I look after the snakes, I breed the snakes, I supply the venom if it's ever needed, and I get to enjoy the most deadly creatures on this planet. I've got snakes in my collection that have killed more people than any other snake on the planet, like saw-scale pit vipers, and and I get to enjoy them every day. I get to watch them every day. I observe their habits, their behaviours, learning how their reproductive cycle works, and whether they need a season like a rainy season or a summer season, or they need a dry season or a cold season, or they need to be hibernated or not hibernated, vermated, sorry. And I love it. I love everything to do with it. I love all of that is a part of learning. I love learning, especially when it's animals. I've got probably ADHD when it comes to animals, so that's probably another one of my superpowers. But yeah, I think I love it, and I can't see my life in any other way, you know, and I wouldn't want it in any other way now. You know, my wife has to put up with me, but you know, she loves it.
You bring a lot of beauty and uniqueness, and something to be highly appreciated.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing with the world
No problem at all.
the beauty that you create, and who's coming to UK will be able to visit.
Yeah, well, yeah, certainly
I
anybody.
suppose not the snakes, but the falcons.
The falcons they can see, people might be able to see. No, it's not a problem at all. I'm pleased to answer your questions.
Thank you so much for sharing.